All right, and welcome back to the Hey Gillyweed TV. Thank you for the host. Right as we start, too. Host from Gillyweed TV. Thank you. I appreciate that. Welcome, everyone. This is the Nexus Gaming Series. I am Bahamut, one of the casters. With me, co-casting is Dunkstick, and I just realized how big I actually had made your camera in comparison to mine right now. But either way, let's go ahead and get into this. Well, first, actually, how are you? And welcome to the stream.
Is that a fat joke? And I'm doing great.
No, it's not.
Thanks for having me, man. Appreciate it. Yeah, it should be exciting games tonight. We got gillyShark versus, remind me what the team, blue team? Wait, that's going to confuse me.
The
blue team is red. Oh, yeah, man.
And they're actually going, yeah, so they're going to be on the right-hand side as the red team. So that is going to be a little bit of a trip up as we get into this. But either way, just also really quickly, thank you to the two follows as we started this as well. I mean, just everyone just showing up and cheering on these teams. So, gillyShark, let's go ahead and just go through this draft really quickly. Hold on. Can you see in chat? We might have to remake lobby. I'm just... Oh, no. We have it right. I'm sorry. We have it right. Never mind. gillyShark won the coin flip. They went ahead and banned out Braxis Holdout. BOE was then banned out by the blue team. First map is going to be Curse Hollow, picked up by the members of gillyShark. And then second map will be Tomb of the Spider Queen, picked by the blue team. Maya being banned out. Stukov being banned out. Where do we go from here going into Cursed Hollow, Dunk?
So, Abathur traditionally has a huge priority on this map. Global pressure, vision control, interrupting rotations, etc. These teams could go into something like that. Otherwise, I think that Garrosh has had a huge priority in the past few weeks, and he would be an excellent pick, as well as Medivh. I think Medivh is a super cool pick on this map.
I really like those as a start here. And now we are in the Division B, so we do see kind of some of those off meta picks, I guess you could say, but we will be opening this up with a Malfurion. Not bad at all. I mean, it does set up quite a bit, especially Curse Hollow. A lot of good zoning potential. The roots set up a lot for any really team following that afterwards. I like that as a start. What do you think that they go into on the side of gillyShark here?
So they've banned a support, and the support has already been picked up. I was gonna say maybe they grab a support, but it looks like they're just gonna rush into that Diablo Hanzo. Hanzo is excellent for poking people off the tribute. Two very long-ranged poke abilities from the Scatter Arrow and his Q ability. While Diablo is like king of the corners, this map is so good for his wall slam.
That is so true. And then the other thing too is, I mean, Hanzo's got phenomenal poke. You've got the boss race with the typically what we see is the simple geometry build. Especially, I mean, even if you don't go into the complete build, you can still grab that 4 talent, the serrated arrows, and the cooldown reduction at 7. That is absolutely massive for a team. And then, as you said, the Diablo, there's so much value into that Diablo. The big thing that I'm curious is, what do you pick up to kind of counteract that? Do you play this a little bit slower? Stukov's been taken away. They've already got their healer. What do you kind of take in this 2-3 slot before going into the ban phase?
Traditionally, ETC has been a very good tank into Diablo. It could be a good idea to pick up your tank right now, seeing as they're not afraid to ban out the sports tanks. All right, yeah, see, so ETC picked up. Totally forgot about Phoenix. He's still a new hero, and I forget that he exists sometimes, even though I play him so much.
And you get MVP every time you do. Let's just note that.
Yeah. Planet Cracker Mosh is now on the table, so I mean that's pretty cool.
Yeah. And did I actually see that on your stream earlier today? Wasn't there a Planet Cracker Mosh that was on Volskaya?
It wasn't a Mosh. It wasn't a Mosh because it was against an ETC.
Oh, right.
It was against some of the players in this game, though. I apparently beat them in those unranked games. I don't really remember names, so I'm pretty bad at it when I'm playing myself. We are going to see Greymane banned. So, honestly, it's a really good ban to keep such a burst hero off of your Hanzo, but he's such a good pick against Phoenix. So it's kind of like tit for tat. Like, what do you want to play against him? Pick him. Like, so it tells us they're not really looking to pick that kind of hero up.
Yeah, and then the other thing too, looking at the draft of gillyShark, they're going to need a solo laner, they're going to need a support, and they're going to need a little bit more damage. I personally say you support choke them a little bit harder. You look for something that would lean into the Diablo Hanzo. I personally really like a Rhaegar. I think it can be really powerful, but I mean, I wouldn't say he hasn't been super high on the priorities, and it really depends on how they want to play this. But Actually, Alex Strauzo makes a lot more sense. Stronger point control. Dragon Form gives you that double healing. The Cleansing Flame has a lot of good poke value into a backline if there is maybe someone who's a little bit lower on that health. But actually, that will be the Rhaegar picked up with the Sonya for their solo lane. So far, I think the draft from gillyShark is very well-rounded. I'm curious to see how they finish this out, though, on the side of the blue team here.
Real quick, because I don't know, is Mecha Rhaegar banned or was it just Mecha Tyrael?
I do not know. I can look really quickly, though, on the NGS website.
I actually, 1 second. Before they banned, I was thinking to myself, yeah, it's double dragon. They're gonna pick Alex here. So much more point control, and then sure enough, they did ban it. So, but the follow-up, Rhaegar is still a great pick here, especially with Sonya too. The slow, the healing totem can be awesome for them because like at this point they have a really high health team with double tank, and they have a lot of damage because post 13, Diablo does assassin levels amount of damage if he's hitting his combos. So really gonna be a big thing to look forward how they control the stuns and whatnot. And we could even see Leap. I know you personally really enjoy seeing that Leap ability.
oh, me? I love Leap. Yeah. I even like to imitate it myself. And just to update you really quickly, I looked through the banned skins. Nothing about Mecha Rhaegar, only Mecha Tyrael. So we don't get any cool Gundam skins or anything like that. But we do have the Dahaka picked up for that solo lane. Global aspect, actually technically even potentially double global if ETC does go into that stage dive. But then again, Planet Cracker Mosh, I think there's so much set up for that Planet Cracker Mosh that I think they're gonna stick with that. Leave the Dahaka to be that kind of global aspect to, split push lanes when needed, jump into team fights into that backline, work on that Hanzo, split him from the team. But I think they're gonna need a little bit more damage, and I kind of like a Thrall here, to be honest.
Yeah, definitely. Thrall, Earthquake Apocalypse is absolutely disastrous. Little note about Apoc too is if Phoenix, and there is the Thrall, if Phoenix decides to take Planet Cracker and Apocalypse is popped right before he uses it, Phoenix could end up getting stunned out of it almost as soon as he starts it. So that'll be a pretty big deal, as well as it's a very useful ability to interrupt Mosh.
That's true.
We do see the Tychus too, and against those heroes, I feel like it'll deter like Sonya, the Thrall, and the Diablo from taking any block talents because of how the minigun works, which will be a big boon for Phoenix. Or if they do, it's essentially a talent negated by Tychus. So I think it's a really good hero to match up when you have someone that can clear so well like Phoenix.
Yeah, and I honestly, I don't know who to give this over to. I mean, looking into this draft here, overall, which team, not looking at names or record or anything like that, who do you kind of give this over to purely on draft?
I'm going to say give it to the blue team. And by the blue team, I mean the red side team.
Which also, I already see people in chat. It's not up to us. It's actually how they schedule it. We can't change it. It's how they put it into the schedule. So they put it in as the blue team on the right side. So unfortunately, they're going to be red. But the good luck, have funs are out. Let's go ahead and get into this game number 1 between gillyShark and the blue team. On the left, we're going to have gillyShark with Mr. Lard on that Sonya. Darkstorm going to be on the Hanzo. Conan going to be on the Diablo. Crymo Tripson going to be on the Rhaegar, and Stark going to be on that Rhaegar. Or actually on that...
And on the red side, we have the blue team once again. It's Snaganash and Narita. I tried my best.
You did.
Narita on the Phoenix, Duke of Sky on Tychus, Ember on Malfurion, and Blizzard Hyrule on Dahaka. And for those of you who don't know, ETC's name is actually Shenanigans backwards, aka he is basically just playing shenanigans with us. He'll be referred to as Snag.
That works. Or as I like to do, shenanigans. I still call him that either way, but let's go ahead and get into this. As we do currently have just the four man on the side. Actually, no, excuse me. There's a splitting off here, as we already had Thrall go right into the bottom lane. Stark going to be working that down, as well as the solo lane Mr. Lard versus Blizzard Hyrule. So this map is going to be shaping out and just maybe a pick into bottom lane, actually.
Yeah, they tried to. They're hoping that the Thrall will just stay up, but he ended up not. Really good moves, though, from gillyShark to go ahead and just split up, knowing full well they have to play against the Dahaka, like the global, when they don't have the one themselves. And did manage to take a small, like, 1 or 2 minion lead. But if they take a fight right at the 3-4 cusp, it'll be a very big deal because they could probably get 4 talents just before 3. So, I mean... Every inch counts in a game of yards, so...
And that's so true. And speaking of, literally just picking up those inches on the map, we're going to be seeing Rhaegar splitting off as well as the Phoenix, and I would say almost at the exact same time, going to be grabbing these siege cams to push in their respective lanes. Now, the first curse is going to be in the bottom lane position, so this is going to be really, really beneficial for the Dahaka on the blue team, which is on the red side, being able to just stay in that top lane as long as possible, then just burrow down for that first objective. So they do have some advantage in that. We'll see how that kind of shapes out here, as we do have the first curse popping up in about a minute.
So are you sure this is Division B? Because these are some A+ rotations, Those camps came out right on time, and Narina, no hesitation, going up to the Bruiser camp alongside Malfurion to go ahead and clear it out. Really good on them, getting as much map pressure as they can, especially knowing they have the global. So really good moves.
I really like this. They're just creating pressure in as many lanes as they can. They leave the Dahaka in top to go ahead and get that clear, and it's going to work out perfect, because Mr. Lard will have to start a rotation quite soon. You already kind of see a little of that anticipation, pushing up the lane, wanting to get one more wave before going down into the bottom for that curse objective that is going to be popping up in about 20 seconds here. Little back and forth here between ETC and Diablo, and ETC might get caught out, as we do have the overpower coming out at this time. Root going to be coming down, allowing them to get out, and I think that won't be yep, they're going to be able to get out without losing a member here.
So that was pretty greedy on the ETC side. That is not a good sign for the side of the blue team if their ETC is going to be playing kind of aggressive that way. When you're dealing with like a Diablo Sonya potentially lockdown, you don't want to be the cow that becomes the hamburger. Like, and oh wow, that cap actually perfectly interrupting Thrall from trying to get in there and poke him, barely getting off. Dahaka, I think they thought there was going to be a fight, and he dug. Unfortunately, not going to get the XP advantage now because he's not soaking. But that is a global, so they're going to keep the pressure on.
Yeah, they do have Mr. Lard rotating into that top lane. Blizzard, Hyrule, and Snag here in mid going to be pushing in Koenig a little bit, just trying to press that up to the gate, give a little bit of an easier push for that ETC. And bottom lane is just starting to get opened up a little bit more here. But next tribute will be in the top left position of the map, so this is going to be favorable for the majority of the teams, because they don't really have their global aspect is in the lane of where it's pretty much going to be, so they can utilize that as more of a gank option. The only thing is they do currently have vision into anything that might be coming into that backline. So we'll see, as the members are going to have to make a rotation here for the second objective, and 7's going to be achieved about simultaneously here.
Yeah, and Rhaegar and Thrall double shamaning that camp real quick. Really wanted to point out real fast, Felix won a talent that hasn't been very popular among a lot of Felix players. Arsenal Synergy. So every 3 times he hits someone, not necessarily the same hero, with repeater cannon, his next phase bomb does almost twice the amount of damage in a 50% more area. So it'll be a pretty big deal for him poking out. It looks like they are just going to go ahead and give it. Really, it's on their favorable side. No point in trying to force something and take a bad positioning on a fight. So really good moves, just clearing out the waves and taking what they can.
I do have to say both teams are playing this extremely smart. As you noted already, there's been phenomenal rotations from both teams. The camp pickups, the prioritization on clearing and an objective and knowing, and also I just want to say like the communication as well, because these teams, there isn't sort of like a hesitation. You see one person kind of go in and then back off, and the team's like not sure. No, these teams are clearly calling the shots and they're following them. And I really got to say it, so far this game, it's been amazing plays between these two teams. They're really just strategizing this really well. As Snag going to be scouting out this bush a little bit, but not going to get caught out, but a little worrisome.
Yeah, and like we keep saying, the global is huge here. Dahaka can stay up towards this top lane and try to clear those siege. This is a 4-man gank push, though. Like I said, king of the walls. That is a terrible spot. If ETC can almost instantly W, he can negate the charge, which would be huge, but he needs to be able to do it. Oh, able to get the W actually, and loudspeakers doing work, getting his message across.
He's going to go ahead and fire stomp out here a little bit, just, a lot of scouting at this point, a lot of poking. I do like that they do have that Hanzo for the poke. They also have Phoenix can poke out decently well, but at this point, these teams are just kind of posturing. No one really wanting to go too far forward, because, a loss in this fight could potentially mean a huge momentum shift for either team, especially nearing those 10s on a map like this.
Yeah, and Snag is actually not with his team, so he can't even get a regrowth, and Thrall actually does manage to come out. Well, Kalua going in, getting the wall set, actually going to get melted, though. Bigger they are, harder they fall. Slide going through, going to catch the Thrall. Do they have the tongue? It looks like he's not going to be able to finish him off, unfortunately. But that Tychus minigun, that is a disaster for Diablo if he goes in alone like that.
Yeah, and I think it was just they had roots right behind. There was a lot of good zoning. They got split from the team there, and just unfortunately not able to go in, and they lost their Diablo. They backed right out. They didn't want to stagger another death. They didn't want to stagger more experience, but they're going to go ahead and just rotate off to their boss. Now the thing is, it hasn't been addressed on the side of the blue team, on the red side, but they are going to be grabbing their bruiser camp at this time. So. Interesting. And the other thing I just want to note really quickly, no serrated arrows being picked up for Hanzo, actually going for that wave clear at level 4. It's a little interesting, but going to have the cooldown.
I think that was a snap response due to the fact that they were getting pushed into the lane, that he needed something to help clear faster.
Oh, okay. It makes sense. He's
really
still
important, though,
action, though.
No one has addressed these siege minions down bottom. Diablo trying to get him out, but it is level 10. That thing's almost dead. They're going to look at it, know they have level 10, and they should finish it right now. Nope, they didn't tap it. They didn't commit. That would have been such a good boss to steal right there, especially with the tribute. If they'd stolen that boss, I could imagine the snowball.
Oh yeah, and that's exactly the situation that I think gillyShark knew, or at least saw coming, and they just completely retreated. They got the Sonic Era out from that Hanzo onto the boss, knowing that it was completely unleashed, and definitely worked out well for them. But this is going to be a curse in favor for the members of the blue team on the red side. As we get first curse here, 10's achieved, but it's going to be 10's also in favor for the members of gillyShark here, as it looks like we're getting pretty normal, no leap. And no Planet Cracker.
No, Purification. Tranquility, which we don't see as much as we do Twilight Dream. It has been a little more popular lately, but going to plan for a little more sustaining in the fights, which could work in their favor. I mean, it is a Thrall, Sonya, Hanzo, not a lot of burst. Less so even because there's no leap now, so...
This is interesting. They're skipping the bottom lane fort to go in a little bit further, but they're going to have the Hanzo Era out. We're going to get the Apocalypse as well as the Earthquake out from Thrall. We have the Mosh Pit, but they will be cleansed out. The Thrall actually going to get re-moshed, essentially, but they're also going to have the Phoenix Ultimate coming out. Just going to connect onto one. Sonya going to get that kill, though, onto the Tychus.
Yeah, and Thrall getting as much movement speed as possible. Rhaegar doing what he can. There comes the flip. Gonna hit the root, gonna fall down on the ETC. Meanwhile, Blizzard did get a lot of damage, or he actually finished the fort in the top lane. They are gonna have to forfeit this bottom boss right now because there's no one left up to contest it. But that is a significant amount of XP they are losing on the side of gillyShark. Oh, even the mid fort, Winion's doing work.
Yeah, definitely. They're losing a couple structures around the map during that curse phase, so it will be fairly in favor for the members of the blue team here. But gillyShark going to be able to grab this boss. Not going to be able to grab the top lane, though, because it looks like that will be burned down. I don't think they're going to back off of this anytime soon, and I don't think the rotation can come out quick enough from the members of gillyShark to go ahead and counter that or even steal it away.
So I'm really hoping they send the Haka back right now to kind of go bottom, or a little sooner than that, to go bottom and start clearing that a little faster. Because he can just dig up with this. This is a keep wall with a talent tier advantage. With an Odin, I feel like they could really put some damage onto this keep. If not just get the wall, maybe get like half the keep's health. But that would be, in my opinion, well worth the resources spent. But it looks like they're just going to back off. Daka did dig bottom to clear this out. Going to get rooted, actually. Taking a lot of damage for his work. I think this is where teams don't put enough pressure on the map. You have a talent tier advantage, but you just let them clear it out. They didn't really have this strong over-the-wall clear on the boss, which meant if you just kind of put up a root or made ETC slide from the side, like you could have done a lot to protect that boss.
Yeah, and then the other thing, too, is they had a boss pushing bottom, and yeah, I think the response could have been a little bit quicker, and they could have got some pressure with their own boss, especially as you mentioned that. But at the same time, I think that they just wanted to go ahead and clear the lanes, get a little bit more of the map back in their favor, because I think things were starting to get, gillyShark was starting to get a little bit momentum, so they wanted to completely cut it off. And I've like, it's 50-50 for me. Like, they definitely did a good job of clearing and making sure that they didn't lose any sort of map pressure that they already had, but at the same time, they did lose a little bit of momentum, as we do have the power slide going on in Stark here. Not going to be connecting for any sort of kill, though.
And Thrall actually just used Ancestral Wrath, so he's not going to have that stacked up for this fight, if they choose this fight. But like you said it, you hit the head on the right of the nail. they did what they could to not lose, and I will always consider that a mistake in the game. So with such an advantage, you always pretty much want to try and do everything you can to just punish the other team.
That is true. Oh, yeah, I have seen a couple games where I'm just, we've actually, I think it was last week, there was like a Sky Temple game, and one of the teams they grabbed boss and everything, and there was like 4 members down, and they didn't push to core to end it, and it was actually what ended up losing them the game because they didn't push that little extra. So sometimes being, that level of aggression is definitely needed in a game like this. As really good body blocks coming out from Snag here, double root going to be coming out, mosh pit.
Oh, that mosh. That's a feels bad moment. We got the lag F in chat. Snag no. That's huge though. That's 14 to 15, no talent tier advantage. They're not going to have any waves pushing in their favor at the moment with a middle spawn. If they take a fight right now, this would be huge. Ooh, Diablo trying to get that quick stack, does a bunch of damage to Snag, but gonna get interrupted. But this is their time to fight. Dahaka trying to get them 16 right now. I really want to see them try to fight them right now.
And that's exactly what they're going to be doing. They're going to be moving in a little bit here. Mr. Lard going to be actually diving in onto Snag here, as we do have the Apocalypse coming out. There is going to be the Purification Salvo onto a majority of these members. They are going to lose the Dahaka right away here to that Hanzo, as it looks like the Ancestral Healing will connect onto Mr. Lard. The Mythical Spear getting Sonya out of that fight. Now down one member, it looks like they're going to try and start to cap this, but it's not going to be happening. Phoenix going to be zoning out a little bit here, but overall, Dunk, this is going to be the members of gillyShark, I think, grabbing this curse here.
Yeah, and they're trying to get in interrupted, but I'm not going to be able to get anything off. So important there. Snag keeps charging forward without hitting anybody and putting himself in terrible positioning. ETC is a great tank if he has his team supporting him. He's not so good a tank if he overextends. Diablo has his wall slam combo and his huge health pool, as well as APOC to deter the team. But unfortunately, a mosh pit when you're alone or solo sliding in without a mosh pit is never the answer.
Yeah, and that's the risky thing here. Now, speaking of that mosh pit, we actually have that back in the next 15 seconds, but they are making quick work of this mid lane, though there is a flank coming out as the curse is going to be ending in the next 20-some seconds. Still continuing to fight. Hanzo going to be going over the wall in this position. Mr. Lard a little bit low, actually going to be falling. No Ancestral to connect for the next 30-so seconds, as Conan might be the next one to fall here, kind of cutting the team away.
Yeah, and there's Snag. See, that's getting him on the cot. Tries to actually dash away, but the roots are out, so nothing to happen. They are going to lose that mid fort and the top fort to Winion, so I mean, the map pressure is now back on. Buildings have been evened out. 5 seconds to the bottom boss. I really hope gillyShark snips this out.
This might be one of those situations where I don't think they're going to. I think this is, it's not going to be happening quick enough. Their majority of the team is on this siege camp. Probably by the time they finish this, they're going to be like, wait, they're probably on boss because ours is up, and they won't. Yeah, you can already see, Thrall making the rotation, but it's not going to be happening.
Nope, they're just doing camps. They might be thinking they're trading on the other side, but that's going to be a boss right next to a keep. And once again, the teams aren't pushing up with it. They're just going to take it and walk away. When you have that kind of objective, it is well within your rights to play around it, especially when you have your ults up. They are just going to make safe plays, though. They're going to run to their top boss and finish it out. But it should die fairly quickly with a Hanzo, Thrall, and Sonya on it.
Now and even then, as I looked over at chat just to note someone's name, pointing out the level 4 Hanzo, damage reduction. But I just look over and see RIP Mosh. So. Yeah, unfortunately that mosh was just in the middle of the lane, but all the heroics are off cooldown at this time. They're not going to be able to make this rotation quick enough to go ahead and get onto this boss, at least, try and steal it over. So they're just going to have to rotate around the map, clear out another boss, and at this point, I kind of like how they're playing. It's a slow play, but I kind of like this play a little bit from the members of the blue team here because they're doing a really good job of just slow playing this to 20, and then I think that they're just trying to win off of that. At least that's how it's seeming, but members of gillyShark here just want to fight.
Yeah, and sniffing this out is huge because fighting in close quarters is the best situation for gillyShark. Not going to be able to find anything other than the camp, though, forcing them to lose on the XP. But that should be both towers and the keep wall. Only a first tribute for both teams, so not a big deal for either side. Once again, though, I still wish blue team would have came here with this boss. there's a lot of poke, yes, on the side of gillyShark, but there's not a lot of ranged clear. And I feel like they could have gotten so much work done under this boss.
Yeah, that is so true, because, you know, pushing with that would have been a huge advantage for them. And at this point, they got the mid lane clear, which I don't think they needed their 5-man dedication for. But either way, Ember going to go ahead, grab the pickup onto that curse point. As it looks like Dahaka might be getting chased here a little bit by the members of gillyShark. Going to juke him out, though, with that speed.
Trying to bush gank the bush Wookiee? I don't think that's happening. You know, and this is a good play right here. Snag, seeing that they're all up there, going immediately to this wall, getting as much damage as he can, tanking it for his team. They are going to go ahead and back off. They do take the wall. That tower is now at a quarter HP. So at any point they have the opportunity to just run it down bottom, that is now open as well as top. So both sides of the map for them.
That is really powerful for them. And the other thing too is they're getting themselves set up for a really strong, and it won't be curse, but they're going to get themselves another curse point here. They've pretty much just been utilizing Dahaka the way... Oh, Dahaka going to actually get caught out in this rotation here. Gonna be diving in using all the essence, but that won't be enough as they lose their Dahaka. And that's a pick that gillyShark needed here.
Yeah, and that's the power of the Diablo. And this is very careful. There's no fort. There's no fort here. If Diablo had found that charge into Snag, that very well could have been a keep on for the side of gillyShark. But down a level, all they want to do is just soak, and they need to get these waves cleared. They're losing a wave mid, and the bottom wave is dwindling. They really need to find their way back to level wise, because if they take a fight down a talent tier because they pressure them level 20s, that'll be disastrous towards the rest of this game.
Yeah, at this point, it looks like they're going to be rotating off, grabbing the siege camp with Darkstorm and Stark here as a couple. They have a nice setup here. I like the way that they're zoning around Crymo here and just making sure they grab that. Bottom lane has been pushed out once again, and this is the one thing that I was starting to note about the Dahaka, and then they just went ahead and picked it off. Doing a phenomenal job of just pushing up the lanes and rotating and pushing up the lanes and rotating as the 4-man of the blue team is just going ahead and just pressuring around the map and taking these little poke fights here and there and grabbing the camps. But grabbing that Dahaka kind of delayed that out for a second, allowing them to kind of inch back a little bit here. It stalled out their experience, and this is definitely opening up a window here, but it is going to be 20s very close for the members of the blue team as Koenig trying to dive in there and get that fight onto the Tychus, push them a little bit close to themselves, and also stagger a death, make it difficult so they can't come into this curse point here, or tribute point.
If Diablo had been a half second faster or Tychus a half second slower, that was a dead Marine. Actually, gonna get the slide on Stark. He's gonna try and walk away. Snag just cutting him off though. There's the Earthquake to get himself out though. He is stacking up that 16 talent. Odin is popped now though. Not gonna have that, but it is level 20s, so they are just gonna wisely walk away, knowing full well it is not in their best choice to take that fight down a talent tier. A big talent tier like that as well. Yeah,
the heroic talent tier, and also, you know, having the big red button from the Tychus, you're going to be having the splash from the Dahaka on that isolation. There's a lot of just terrifying things here. Also, just a little bit more for the fight here with that storm shield from the ETC. I really like that pickup as well.
Yeah, and actually really big tier for a Tranquility Malfurion, because his healing while in the Tranquility is going to be much greater, on top of him getting it off cooldown much faster. So really good talent here. We actually seen Storm Shield out of ETC, not going to be like a Blink Slide or Death Mosh. Interesting. Yeah, so that, I mean, just a little bit more for the fight, a little bit just a beefier boy, if you will. But looks like they're going to give this over. I don't think they're going to be able to make this rotation time, but they're going to have this boss barreling down bottom lane, and that will be a benefit for the members of gillyShark here, as it looks like ETC will be grabbing this tribute. That will be a curse in their favor, and this late into the game, 20-some minutes, the boss will do quite a bit of damage, but it's not going to have any sort of minion wave around it. So bottom lane will be stalled a little bit, but overall, I still think they're going to get some value during this curse, you know, not having 20s on the side of gillyShark here. Yeah, and they're going to put pressure top side with a camp pushing mid, so they could very well get a bunch of damage both from the top and the mid side. No pressure going on them at this time. Dahaka is now with them. Went ahead and dug in. Gonna go ahead and just take this keep. Probably just walk away. The warp shift coming out really quickly. One person's got to end it, guys. Everyone can walk away. Someone's gonna last hit it. As we do have hit 20 though.
Yeah, they are hitting 20 themselves on the side of gillyShark. They lose their keep in top, which is the favorable boss lane for the members of the blue team. But they're going to have to hearth back themselves because even during their own curse, they're going to need to deal with this boss. It's not going to kill the keep, but it definitely will be weakening it, as we do have... yeah, that it's going to be curse ending, half a keep falling on the side of the blue team. Do they try and fight over this boss? Because this could be game ending and very risky.
Yeah, I really wish they would be in the bushes right now, like already ready for this. They don't have the fast enough clear, unfortunately, because Hanzo has the opposite 4 talent where he's running. But gonna go ahead and hit snap. Not gonna flip him again. He's trying to look for a mosh. Gets the drag on the Diablo. Blinks into the root. Doesn't have his full stacks. That's a full death. He was only at 53. That's huge.
That's going to be the Diablo falling this late into the game with boss available. This is hard. This is hard to call here. We do have a root that went out. We have Hanzo not going to be connecting. Actually, they're going to be fighting this at this time. We do have the Purification Salvo coming out. That will be Thrall falling. That is also going to be a Mosh Pit that will be getting the Sonya here. No Ancestral came out from the Rhaegar because they were moshed as well. Big red button for zoning. And that was a coupled staggered deaths that they did not need, as this will be a boss in favor for the members of the blue team. And they're going to work this down the top lane. The Haka already burrowing forward.
Yeah, and unfortunately for the Sonya and the Thrall, Rhaegar tried to run in to get the Ancestral off and ran into the mosh pit. So really good. Made up, almost pretty much made up for that earlier mosh. Getting that one, kind of helping them win the game. But this is going to be a full health boss on a unshielded core. And Diablo trying to get around, get some burst damage in. Unfortunately, the heavy parts of their damage is unfortunately not allowed. ETC getting super healed from those regrowths. That's so much healing now.
Yeah, they're trying to work on the ETC and just get the cow down. They will slam it into the wall, but it won't be enough, as game number 1 will be going over in favor for the members of the blue team. GG, well played.
Kill them. Your Apocalypse will do all the work you need to disrupt the enemy team to set your team up to finish off whoever you picked off. It's kind of like the mentality, I want to Twilight Dream and hit 5 people. If you Twilight Dream 1 person and get the kill, it was worth it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the kind of mentality you need to have, because Diablo is the most aggressive tank because of how tanky he becomes and how much burst damage he provides at that 13, 16 tier. Anyway, we are going to get into it, though. Let you take it off.
Take off what?
To the Spider Queen. Take us where we're going.
All right, so we are going to be going over to Tomb of the Spider Queen for game number 2 here between gillyShark and the blue team. Malfurion going to be banned out right away, not wanting Ember to be going ahead and getting that pick back up for this game. I like it. That's a strong call. That's a really strong call going into this, but that does leave Stukov open, and I'm curious if they're going to take that off the table, because it is a highly prioritized healer on a map like this. I looked over and I was just like, he's in the middle of drinking something. Way to go.
Yeah, actually, so before they did the rework, Malfurion was actually such a great pick here because of the scouting drone talent at level 1. So like vision control over the turn-ins is super important. But even if Ember didn't do well last game, I actually really like the Malfurion ban because of how well he pokes over the wall to interrupt those turn-ins. We are going to see the Stukov insta-lock, though. That is how you do the healer to choke. You ban a healer, you pick a healer. So if they don't pick a healer right now, they could potentially get choked out of what are considered like the top tier healers. Here, I think we're probably looking at like either an Alex. Alex has really decent poker control because of her range. I see Morales a lot on this map. Actually, I feel like
I think it's definitely viable. No, I mean it's one of those things. Like I wouldn't even call it like niche. It's almost like the comp has to kind of be around it a little bit. And in a situation where you have 4-man rotations between top and bottom, or top and mid, I think Lieutenant Morales can be a completely viable option. The other thing that we see here and there on a map like this where you have that 4-man rotation, you have a lot more brawling. Kharazim gets quite a bit of value here, but we're going to get this 1-2 pickup, and it's going to be the Garrosh into the Phoenix. Not too surprised about that Phoenix, but the Garrosh I really like. The repositional factor, the stun that you can get onto quite a few members, the overall just tankiness and thickness of the boy himself is just... It's not something that I would really want to deal with in a 4-man rotation, especially now you have to kind of play it a little bit further back.
Yeah, and he is a takeaway from gillyShark's composition. When you run a Stukov, if you manage to get a Garrosh with it, that can be insane because of the lockdown inside the silence pool. But on the flip side, Garrosh has his 4 talent, Indomitable Will, which gives him the Unstoppable, which is actually, he's one of the few heroes that can escape the silence pool because of it. And that is an awesome skin. This is my first time seeing it in game.
Yeah, me too, actually.
Dark Nexus, that is absolutely stunning. Oh my god.
That is really cool. And that was actually one of the things that I was thinking about. I was like, all right, what do they need in their draft? I was like, they need, typically on Tomb of Spider Queen, you can say Dunkstick is Master. Grandmaster. Grandmaster, my eyes. But we do have that Sonya and Gul'dan being picked up. I really like the Gul'dan for the wave clear and Sonya for that solo lane, just locking that early and having a strong solo laner and then just being like, all right, we've got our healer, we've got our solo laner, and we've got our wave clear. And then they can build the rest of the composition around them. I think that's a really good start because they've nailed down a lot of core elements to their draft that they need. Yeah,
and Gul'dan's actually fantastic for either disengage or engaging. If at any point Phoenix steps up to, like, let's say do DPS to Gul'dan, if Gul'dan steps 1 foot forward and fears behind him, like, that is a dead Phoenix with how squishy he is. So we may even see like a leap into a fear, like everyone's stunned and then right before it ends, boom, they all go away because of the fear. That'd be pretty cool. A Nubrak ban though, that's interesting. Don't see that very often.
The Nubrak ban, I think, could work out in the rotations. Maybe they plan on taking something that... Maybe they even plan on going to the potential for a... like a Li Ming? And so...
With a Gul'dan?
Oh, no, I'm sorry. On the side of the
blue.
On the blue team. Sorry, I was jumping around draft a little bit. So maybe they're afraid of any sort of spell armor. Plus, a Nubrak in the rotations I think can be really strong. The Beetles offer pretty good scouting as well. And then I like the Leoric takeaway on the side of gillyShark here. I think into the Sonya it's pretty strong. Leoric has a phenomenal place on this map. Having great wave clear and the cleave every 3rd auto attack, if I'm remembering correctly.
Yeah.
And then as well,
every auto attack is cleave, and then the 3rd auto attack is like the burst hit.
Right. It's the increased damage, and then you also have the 13-16 talent tier advantage with the Ominous Wrath and oh boy, I'm forgetting the name. Royal Focus.
I don't know the name of it.
Yeah, Ominous Wrath and Royal Focus, that combination at 13-16 is so strong for a team to get the cooldown reduction on your swing into more Wraith Walk so you can get the damage reduction on the enemy team. So overall, I really like these bans from both teams, very heads up. And I think they're trying to adjust their draft here as they're going to get the Lucio for the rotations and Jaina for their wave clear. But that means neither team has a cleanse at this point either. Nope. Except for Garrosh, and Jaina has an ice block after completing the quest.
Yeah. So since you bring it up, obviously it's got to be Sylvanas with the mind control. But I mean, we do see the Zeratul in Diablo. Don't see a lot of Zeratul anymore, but true. They are sticking to that Diablo. Now maybe he's listening to chat and he's like, I'm going to follow Dunk's advice and be like crazy aggressive. I will tell you, 50% of the time I'm wrong. It's more often that you follow the 50% though. But with the Jaina pickup, I think that's gonna be kind of I don't know. I feel like if they go leap, I feel like that's a dead Jaina 99% of the time, and especially with like a Zeratul too. Like that's gonna be a rough game for us, like that kind of mage.
So this is what they do. You get Void Prisoned in a rotation. Apocalypse is underneath you, so you're stopped. Then you're stunned. Then you get leaped on, and all the while all this is happening, Gul'dan is just dumping damage over time on you with. He's got the Fell Flame as well as the Echoed Corruption, and then I'm assuming you would have the stacks by then, and then you get the reverb, so you're just getting absolutely melted, and then maybe why not just throw a Stukov Silence underneath that so they can't use abilities to get out, or even maybe Garrosh Self-Cleanse, Jaina Ice Block, Phoenix, get the, out, break it down from Lucia. So, I mean, that is like a perfect storm situation to get all those things stacked, but I mean, that could be absolutely devastating.
if all they get is the Void Person and then the Silence Pool, that'll be devastating. Because
yes,
if Lucio gets trapped in it and then the Void Person or the Silence Pool comes out, like it's just he can't do anything. And unfortunately, when he only ticks for about 2 every half second, that little AoE heal does not add up very quickly. Malthael though could be a game changer. Post 10, Sonya has to fear for her life 24/7. She can never be within range of him and have a mark when she's post 50% HP because he can finish her off at that point.
That is the terrifying too. That's a really that's a terrifying fact too. I'm looking at these two drafts and like you make so many good points. Like there's a lot of good counterplay between the two teams. But we're just going to have to find out as we get into game number 2 here. On the left-hand side, we are going to be having gillyShark with Stark going to be on that Zeratul, Chrymotripsin going to be on the Stukov, Mr. Lard going to be on that Sonya, Darkstorm going to be on the Gul'dan, killer skin I just have to point out too. And then we're going to have Conan going to be on that Diablo.
Yeah, and on the right side, it is the blue team once again on the red team. Ember playing Lucio, Narena playing Phoenix, Duke of Sky on the Jaina, Snagananis on Garrosh, and then Blizzard Haru on the Malthaels. Sorry, I try to say it. I one day I will find a way to just say it really fast.
It was like it was
a pale horse though.
Ooh, I like that for the rotations into the lane for potential picks as well as just having that safety. Some beast ups coming out. I don't know what's happening here, but either way, we do have the start of this map as we have Mr. Lard going to be in that solo lane already. Some poke damage are going to be coming out. The Gul'dan is actually going to be going into the Echo Corruption stack, so going to be seeing that extra damage over time as Duke of Sky are going to be taking quite a bit of damage from Stark there, but getting healed up right away from that Lucio.
Yeah, and surprisingly, it's not the Gul'dan team kind of like pressuring forward and getting their clave through. Garrosh doing what he can to anchor for his team. Wow, Stark taking a lot of damage. Narena's not really a hero you can poke. You really just full engage her. Or if she decides for some reason to tank you entirely, and just kill her at that point. But I'm going to look at the bottom lane, see if Blizzard decides to poke out. I believe that Regen Orb actually gives him away. He does realize that and walks away, so that's good on him. Lucio trying to just boop him, trying to remember where he's at. They're actually doing an excellent job of just throwing abilities. They're not hitting him, but they are being aware of what side of the map he's on, which is very good on the side of a blue team.
Yeah, I really like that they're going ahead and making these kind of picks, these pokes, and well, I guess I can't say picks, but actually at this time they do rotate the entire team down into bottom lane. Not going to be getting a pick onto Mr. Lard as I think they were aiming for, but they're going to be going ahead and grabbing the siege camp at bottom. Maybe not.
Oh man, if they had been able to catch that Garrosh, they could have. They are going to see this camp started though. Hero taking a lot of damage. Going to try and get out. Stark taking a lot of damage. Oof. The silence pull coming out really late though. I feel like if he'd thrown it a little sooner, that could have been a kill onto the Malthael.
That could have been just exactly what they need to keep them from getting out. But meanwhile, though, we do currently have Phoenix just making those rotations between lanes, keeping that experience advantage in their favor. And once again, actually, not going into the advanced targeting, which is something that we've seen. And also, in a situation like this, I would have expected advanced targeting for that, stacking in a 4-man rotation would be a lot easier, but it's going to be the exact same thing we saw in game number 1 with the increased damage. Arsenal synergy there.
Yeah. And it's to each their own. All 3 of them are pretty good to use. I would say that one has the highest skill level to really make the most of it. But we are seeing this continued 2v1. Malthael just playing super far back, knowing he can never really step forward. We do see about a half-level advantage, though, for the side of TBT. And I'm going to call them TBT from now on, because saying the blue team is very confusing for me.
Yeah, actually, every time I say it, I'm like, the blue team? I throw a question mark on it. TBT is way better. Because we currently going to go ahead and have Stark take a bunch of damage. Going to go ahead and use the blink out, but it might be their death, as it will be the first kill of the game going over to the members of TBT.
Yeah, that was actually Wormhole. He had actually blinked forward, but Jaina's burst scared him so well he said Wormhole, but he Wormholed right next to Garrosh. That is a very unfortunate circumstance.
Now, turn-in is available for both teams. I do want to note that really quickly, and you can kind of see a lot of them starting to get a couple gems in here or there. So we do have Jaina and Lucio working on this camp down bottom. Mr. Larga to scrap this out, but it's not going to be happening anytime soon, especially with the 3 members down here. They can't really take this fight.
Oh, and they might get here in time. He's going to go ahead and step forward, nothing to interrupt his thing, and the silence pull comes out. That's going to trap them. It is now a 4v3. Lucio's still on the side. He does have slip through. Corruption hitting so many people. Gonna go ahead and get out. That level 1 talent on Lucio doing a lot of work to speed him out of there.
That is huge. The other thing, though, to note really quickly, that's the level of aggression that, I mean, I'm guessing you were talking about in the last game, just, diving in on that point extremely hard. It was a sliver left and, just relying on your teammates to, be there in time as they were rotating down a little bit far away. Mr. Lard gonna be trying to get this turn in as Stark gonna be just poking out, but a lot of damage gonna be going out onto them, and I think this might be the doom once again for Zeratul, as Ember gonna boost forward and trying to get onto Darkstorm here. Not gonna be getting a kill anytime soon though.
Oh wait, actually doing a lot of damage. Jaina stepping forward. That is that level 1 talent, Arsenal Synergy, the AoE bonus to it, the 50% bonus, enabling him. He hit the tower, but still hit the Gul'dan, doing probably about 400 damage.
Yeah, that blue gate. Or sorry, I read over. I was reading chat and saying gate at the same time, but that gate right there, just that spread damage. Oh, just enough to get that kill. But we do currently have top lane getting cleared out fairly quick. Stark can be back, trying to get some poke out onto a couple of these members. Mid lane pushing up into the gate, and then bottom lane going to be handled by Blizzard Hyrule as doesn't look like they get a ton of advantage, but they're going to go ahead and dive in on this mid. We do currently have the Stukov in a really bad spot, trying to get that healing as we have Koenig going to try and zone. Not going to be enough as the Stukov will be falling at this time. Mr. Lar going to knock back, and I don't think they can take this fight. No, Stark will go ahead and with the help of Darkstorm get that kill.
Yeah, and like you said, you may have got the healer, but you're so low, they can take that 4v5. And unfortunately, that's just the punishment for having Lucio. Until he gets his level 10 ultimate, where he basically has 2 big heals, it is very difficult for him to keep his team up once all that damage has come out.
Yeah. And at this time, I mean, they have turn-in, but they're going to go ahead and just grab their camp, push a little bit further out. And just really quickly to note, anyone who is just coming in, because I'm seeing in chat again, we don't control what side people are on, unfortunately. It's all up to scheduling, so they have a good time trolling casters by putting the blue team on the right-hand side of the schedule. So that will be... That's that little thing, but either way, TBT going to go ahead and actually get their turn in at this time, pushing into the bottom lane. Now, Sonya was grabbing the Siege camp, or excuse me, Bruiser camp in mid to have that pressure, and overall, it's starting out pretty strong for the members of TBT here as we get into this first Web Weaver phase for them.
Yeah. Let's see, level 10s, we have the Silence, Ring of Frost, no water LE, Last Rites, and once again, Purification Salvo. I only think I saw him use it once or twice, and I feel like, oh, there's going to be the Last Rites. That is a dead Gul'dan. There is nothing in this world that saves you right now. Really good on them to just rush past this, and that's the power of a Lucio. When you have a Lucio, like, just go, go, go. Do not be afraid.
And that, I gotta say, these guys are pushing this in fairly quickly as they open up mid. Koenig and top going to be trying to get the clear onto this, but going to back off right away as they did rotate up from that lane. Now, the one thing I want to note is that top lane is typically a lane that you really, really want to prioritize on a map like this during the Web Weaver phase because of the fact that it is the boss lane. It is your considerable win condition. You can get Web Weavers and boss, even just boss, stacked up in this lane and just push into a keep, push into core, and potentially just end it. The lanes being so short the way they are, it is a little hard to kind of just rush core and push in. But we do have a Void Prison coming out. Apocalypse will be there as well. The Leap will be on top of them. Silence will be there. They get the kill onto the Lucio. Stark a little bit low themselves. But Dunk, I think they might be able to get a little bit more here.
Yeah, unfortunately no cooldowns up to keep going. Really good combo, though. Immediately hit the Lucio and one other person. Blizzard Hyrule actually going to get his turn in down here before the other team can actually turn in all theirs. So really important to dump your coins almost as soon as you can in that situation, because you're going to be facing them at a disadvantage. You don't want to run the risk of, oh, we lost the fight and the coins. So good on Blizzard to do what he could. It was, unfortunately, they did get caught out. It's something, unfortunately, you can't really avoid too much because of the VP Sin. But I do think splitting off the one person to soak was a good idea overall.
That is really, really true, and just having that clear available and ready to go, as the members of gillyShark want to just push into this top lane a little bit harder, but TBT making sure that they get the clear and the priority onto this as quick as possible. Really quickly, just also want to note that Gul'dan is at 27 out of the 40 stacks necessary for that Echo Corruption, working their way up. And I just want to note, like, that setup for that was exactly what we talked about in draft, as Stark is going to go ahead and get hit by the last rites. There will be the Ring of Frost that comes out. Leap going to be coming out, but it won't be enough to keep Sonya alive, as it looks like that will be 2 members falling. Webweaver, though, in bottom lane still pushing. They're going to need to address that quite soon.
Yeah, it's not really going to get too much. I think they'll be able to protect the Fountain at the very least, or maybe not, because it decided to focus it right off the bat. But overall, really good on the side of TBT to go ahead and punish them. That Zeratul getting caught out, and like I said, if you fall below 30% while facing a Malthael, more than likely you're going to die if you're in a solo situation. It's very rare to live unless you have your own sort of self-sustain. VP going solo. Apoc's going to come out, going to get the stun. Great flip from the side of Garrosh. Purification actually going to hit 5 targets, doing a ton of damage. Sonya doing what it can. The taunt comes out, the fear to disengage. Diablo, unfortunately, using the minion to escape. Smooth moves. Darkstorm is very... Oh, that silence was so... With this... Oh my god. Excellent disengage from the side of gillyShark. Wow.
So many tools utilized in that, but that was so good. I mean, I'm just like, my eyes went... I didn't know my eyes could open up that big when I saw just right as they're about to actually get like an interrupt or a stun onto a couple of them. Silence perfectly right there. Just that split second's all they needed. And I was just like...
Yep.
Just major props to Kaimo Tripson on that Stukov right there, just to be able to go ahead and get that initial silence, make sure that that disengage completely happens. They get the turn in. They have the experience in their favor on the side of TBT with that 13 talent here, as well as just being, almost about 2 levels ahead. We'll see if they push in a little bit hard, as they all seem to stack up in mid here looking for this keep.
Yeah, and it is the shield for the side of Jaina, going a very defensive build. She even has the armor at level 4. She understands very well that she's a significant part of their damage, and she cannot afford to die. They're actually going to get on this keep. Fair trade. I don't think protecting your fort is worth losing your keep. This keep is just dropping so bad. They don't even need to stay to finish it. This queen, even if they come to defend, will end it. Blizzard, though, staying in. I mean, it is Lucio. They do the escape with the speed, so... Shenanigans very far up. That is a 4-man Void Prison. With the leap, the Apocalypse coming in. So much damage, the fear coming out. He cannot get away. Stark actually going to get last rites. So much damage coming out inside of Jaina, and Phoenix, though, going to turn it around. Get the Sonya, trying for it. The silence going to come out, delay them just a little bit. Gul'dan is still very healthy. Wow, that fight was crazy.
Oh my god, just the blow up onto those 2 members, but then the response. Oh my god. Just getting some let the Lucio die. Yes.
Yeah, unfortunately for the side of gillyShark, they hit level 16 during that fight.
Yep.
And the Northern Exposure talent on Jaina doing so much work with the damage boost from Phoenix at 16, so we're able to turn it around. But really good engage. That we talked about it. The APOC, the leap, the silence, everything came out on it.
They've been running that kind of blow up every single time, and I do have to commend gillyShark because they've nailed the combo every single time. It's just they're not getting the kills and the fight that they're looking for. They get maybe, they'll get one pick a little bit low. They're going to be diving onto the Jaina that's really far out. Not going to be able to get the kill as the rest of the team will be rotating up, but Duke of Sky taking quite a bit of damage.
Stark decided to clear the wave right as they engaged and had no way to close that gap. That should have been a dead Jaina.
Unfortunately, they're not going to be able to get that kill, and that also means another Webweaver phase. They're also going to be having this Bruiser Camp pushing mid lane. That extra spell... Okay, never mind. I was going to say the extra spell armor pushing into a lane with no keep would be huge for them, but it looks like they're going to be going ahead and pushing up top lane. Going to go ahead and maybe try and get themselves some extra catapult pressure.
Yeah,
I'm 50-50
and when you've been
on this
dominating
call.
as hard as they have, when you're just constantly getting turn-ins when the other team hasn't gotten. I think they've only gotten one. Like,
yes.
it just spells disaster. A long time ago, a friend of mine told me, if you get the first keep on Tomb, you typically win. Because once the keep is broken, it's so difficult to defend against the triple Weaver spawn.
And it looks like that's one thing that they're going to be needing to deal with here. Now, mid lane was pushed in a little bit. They don't have 16 still. They're really close. The waves are coming in. That is going to be a huge Void Prison down on a couple of people. Mosh will be coming out. We have a lot of damage coming in. Horrify will be there as well. The Silence will be on top of that, trying to split the members here. There was also, I believe, a Last Rites that went out, but another Purification Salvo. The Taunt will be going out. That will be the Stukov falling as well. Never mind. Darkstorm not going to be falling here, but it looks like the GG's already thrown out as Sonya will be falling. Darkstorm only left. It looks like they set their sights on the core to end game number 2 here.
If they had leap, they would have just 5-0'd them right there. If they had the leap, Sonya unfortunately wasn't quite there just yet, and they weren't able to finish it. It's gonna be a dead Warlock. Garrosh doing what he does best and giving it to Gul'dan.
Yeah, but that will be game number 2, going over to the members of TBT. GG, well played.